Hi guys, I thought I'd do a quick video for you because the other day I was looking around on YouTube for ways of making a string silencer for my bow. Now I watched two videos, one of which was by Backyard Bowyer, who makes them by wrapping the wool around his fingers. And there's also another video by Grey Archer Man, who does it exactly the same way. Now, it's pretty easy enough like that, a little bit fiddly. And while I'm waiting for my bow to arrive, I thought, yeah, I'm going to make a few. Now, I made one, and I thought, I can improve on that. I'd like to make a camo one. So I made this, and this actually helps you make the silencers if you're putting a lot more different colours into it. Firstly, what this is just an ordinary piece of MDF. It's probably about 5 inches long by just over an inch wide. I mean, that's pretty irrelevant really, it doesn't really matter. And I've got two of these. Now, all of you archers will know what these are. These are what hold the target faces to your targets. They are plastic target pins. And what I've done, I've drilled 2 holes into the MDF, same diameter as the pins. Well, actually, gave it a little bit of a wiggle just so you could move them, you know, with a bit of a stern push. You can actually push them through if you wanted to. And there is a reason for that later. It does help. Now, I've spaced mine apart just under 3 inches. These 2 little black marks that you can see on here, that's 3 inches. So mine are probably 2 3/4 inches apart. And I've drawn the centre line in, which will come into its own a little bit later. Doing it this size will give you a golf ball size string silencer. And incidentally, it's really, really light. Obviously, when that's on your bowstring, after 50 or 60 shots, it's just going to fluff up into a perfect ball. Now, this one, there was 28 wraps of that size to get that size ball. And for me, it's a little bit thick for me, although that's perfect for you hunters. I only really do kind of target shooting. So I've made a few with 20 wraps, which was absolutely perfect. There's one that's been made and tied, ready to go on the bow. I'll show you that a little bit later as well, because you don't just tie it and then stick them into your bow that way. You've got to separate them and do it the opposite way, because then your string's not actually sitting on the knot. But I'll show you that a little bit later. Another thing I've done with this is cut just a little saw cut into the end, and that makes it a lot easier. Say for instance, you know, you're going to start making your silencer. Straight away, it's holding it for you. Now, when you wrap this, don't pull it taut as you're wrapping, because when you do eventually cut it, it'll just go doink to nothing. So, you know, just enough to keep the lines actually straight, and do your wraps. Don't pull it taut. When you've done the amount of wraps that you want, I'll just slot that into there, and it's holding it ready for me. Now, if, for instance, you wanted to do a camo one, first of all, work out how many colours you're using, and divide it equally. And all you do then is tie it at a little knot just here, and then put your next colour on. And don't worry about the knot being there, because they're not going to be seen. Because when you've actually finished doing all your colours, wrapping them around and tying them off, where you're going to actually be cutting, try and get this on the video, is in there. That's where you're actually cutting in. So you're cutting inside the posts. And that's pretty much it, really. When you've done all your wraps, where's my little piece? Your piece of thin cotton or nylon, whatever you use to tie it off with, what you want to do with that, let's see if I can do this now, is lift up all your strands, poke it underneath, I don't know if you can see that. Right, I've poked it underneath, and what you want to do is set it on your centre line. Now when you've done all your wraps, as I say, and you've tied them off at each end, so all your different colours, put that underneath, whatever you're tying it off with, push your pins in. Now what that's doing is actually holding that, what you're tying it off with, dead centre, so you know you're going to get a perfect ball shape. Also it's holding my wool in place. So what you'd want to do then is just tie it all off. And how I tie this, I just do a knot this side, take the pins out, turn it over, do a knot the other side. I do 2 or 3 knots, trim it off, and that's it. Then you're good to go. Right, so once you have all your layers wrapped round, if you're doing a camo one, you can see at this end here, this is where I've all tied them gently and just snip them off. Now I've got, there's all my colours. I've got three brown at the bottom, then there's 3 lighter brown, 3 green, in the middle there's 2 white, which I'll show you in a minute why that's necessary. Then I've got the same colours again. So all that's needed to do now is push it down like that. Now it's holding it nice and tight. Now it gives you a chance to tie it on your centre line. Right, I'll speed it up and I'll tie it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now I've tied the knot, so it's just a case of snipping the ends off that. Right, now this is why I put the 2 white bits in the centre. When you actually fit this to your string, you're not going to fit it in that way so the string goes across there, because the string will be resting on the knot that you've just tied. What you have to do is separate them this way. Now I put 2 white strands in the middle, if you remember, so that makes it easy to find. So you take the 2 white from there, and I look for the centre this way, like so. There we go. And that is the way it fits onto your bow. It feels a lot softer to the touch there as well. So I shall catch you soon, guys. Take it easy. Goodbye.